Hello, everyone. This is Nanny Moo Moo and Papa Dunk, and today we're at St. Luke's at Milland and Rake. I've never said Milland before, so it might be a different pronunciation, so let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or indeed incorrectly. So this church, St. Luke's, often referred to as the church in the forest, has intrigued me for a while because I have seen signs off the road between Liphook and Rake pointing towards this church. So today we're going to have a bit of an explore and see what we can find. Unfortunately, the church isn't open today, so we'll take a look around the grounds and the exterior of the church, but we'll also visit the Tuxlith Chapel, which I know is open and perhaps is even more of historical significance than the church. But I think you'll agree with me, the church itself is set in a lovely location with lots of walks that you could go through into forests. And you might be able to spot the bird boxes in quite a few of the trees. Let's go and have an explore at some of the gravestones and other parts of the exterior grounds. I don't know much of the history of the church. I had a brief Google search before we came. I think it was built in the 1870s. And I know that it has a peal of 6 bells, which I can only imagine when the bells are ringing, it can be heard far and wide. But it's a really well kept churchyard. And you might be able to see the snowdrops coming out, heralding spring. We've had a lot of rain recently here in West Sussex, so it's a bit slippery underfoot. So I'm being very careful as to where I step. But I am very interested in looking at some of the gravestones. And dotted around the grounds are benches where you can sit and contemplate. And as I said, there's quite a few walking routes. So if you're a walker, this might be a good resting place for a cup of tea if you're carrying a thermos with tea. I'm now making my way towards Tuxlith Chapel. It's thought that there was a chapel on this site from the 13th century. You can see here that the gravestones here have much more age to them. Some of the inscriptions are worn off. Very mulchy underfoot. But I believe this area, this site in particular, is of interest to botanists because of the various moss, lichens, etc. Very, very interesting. Wow, this one here, tombstone, looks quite old. Can't really see any date. There is one door to the chapel, but I think we'll go through the main door. If you've watched Nanny Moo Moo and Papa Dunk videos, you'll know that Nanny Moo Moo is not an expert on church architecture. But just looking at the construction of this chapel, there looks like there is some age to it. It's very difficult to see the inscriptions on some of the tombstones. That one is for James Stagg, 1870. So this is the main entrance. I'm going to take it careful because it's very slippy underfoot and there are stairs leading down. But I'm very excited to see what is inside. I do know that this chapel for many years was hidden by the forest, the overgrowth. Inside the chapel, there are some wonderful boards that tell you about the history. The pulpit. And the Ten Commandments. And the Lord's Prayer and the Creed. The chapel was used as a Sunday school until the 1930s. And now it's being looked after by the Friends of Friendless Churches. And this chapel probably has more historical significance than I know at the moment. So I'm going to go back and research it a little bit more. I don't know how old this church organ is. It says here Detroit, Michigan, USA. Having said that, the inscriptions on some of the tombstones are very difficult to read. We found one here just outside the chapel. Elizabeth Knight, who died in 1763, in the 74th year of her age. It's rather strange. The sun is coming out. There's birdsong, and you may hear in the background some gunfire. We're close to MOD land, so perhaps they're on training manoeuvres. We've just moved into a rather peaceful looking graveyard to the side of both St. Luke's and the chapel. But you can see what a wonderful setting this is within the forest and woodlands. The Millennium Yew. Now 25 years old. I wonder how many centuries that tree will be there for people to see. Let's hope many, many, many centuries. So here we are at the church's Lich Gate, which is a relatively new construction, but a very nice feature. Sir Hubert Bennett, architect. So disappointing that the church wasn't open, but even still, a really lovely walk around the grounds and exploring Tuxlith Chapel, which has been very sensitively and caringly preserved. So from Nanny Moo and Papa Dunk at St. Luke's Church, Milland and Rake, and Tuxlith Chapel, it's bye for now. Bye for now.